did see that. And now that he's on 4 bases, he's taking a 4th.
He still hasn't even taken his own natural yet.
Which is good because it'll be an easy one to take later.
But it's also a pretty clear indication. Well, actually, no, I shouldn't say that. It's a pretty clear indication that he's not, like, he's expanded somewhere else, given the amount of units he has specifically. But TLO should have been tipped off by that already.
But it does create an interesting problem for TLO because, like you said earlier, if he goes for that, he's put in a very poor position.
I think if he split off his Hellion Force and went up there, he could deal a lot of damage, especially because he's got Blue Flame just finishing up right now. He's got Weapons 1 on that too. Blue Flame, Hellion.
Muta, though.
Yeah, true. But still, I think Hellions are as fast as Muta. You can exploit terrain better with Muta because you don't have to worry about cliffs or anything like that. But yeah, a bit of a... Oh, look at that huge wall of death.
The Banelings are going to get in on those Thor. And all those Thor.
I think he's trying to go after the Hellions with his Banelings, which is a smart choice because the Lings are going to clean up the Thor really easily. And the Banelings really need to bring those Hellions back so that they don't... The Zerglings don't get fried.
On the first 2 Thor that Idra killed, he bunched up his Muta and took way more casualties to his Muta ball than he needed to.
How many does he have left?
He's got like
9.
Yeah, he doesn't have many left. And all those 9, he's only got 5 in his original ball left.
Yeah.
And he smartened up after he killed the first 2, he smartened up and he started to magic box. Holy crap, my voice is going. But so he lost way more than he needed to, but that's the lovely part about Zerg. You can spit out units so fast. However, Muta are a little bit more expensive than what you want to be throwing away, so we'll see how that pays off later.
I really liked his wall, though, that he brought all his Zerglings down in a straight line, all his Zergbane, and then hit hold position when he was in that perfect wall. And then as soon as he decided it was time to engage, they all flooded over at exactly the same time. Really nice timing on those.
And you can't be afraid to lose your Lings, like just to do little things like that. I mean, they're kind of there to soak up damage and do a little extra damage, but they're really not the fist.
I think it was in this case because he was primarily Thor Hellion, but the Banelings chased back the Hellions, which was really good. It really allowed those Lings to annihilate the Thor. I don't think the Thor really did too much aside from to the Muta. And in all honesty, Thor are more expensive than Muta. Him taking out 5, 6 there was way more resources than actually. I want to take a look at the units lost tab. Yeah, you can see TLO. He's 2,000 mineral or 2,000 resources behind in the units lost.
So yeah, in your army engagements, you really need to think outside the box, and TLO opted to chase away the Hellions with the Banelings rather than kill things with the Banelings, and that was a really good choice. And you can do that as any race, really. Like thinking about, let's say, a PvP, for example. A lot of players hate PvP, and a lot of players 4-gate. And when you get that early robo and the Immortal comes out against the 4-gated Stalkers, you can send a couple Zealots to chase that Immortal away in the same fashion that Idra used the Banelings, and that Immortal will never get a shot off at your Stalkers. So there's little creative things you can do in any engagement like that. And you don't necessarily have to kill parts of the army. Just pull them away, distract them, split them up. There's so many ways an engagement could go down. And that's what makes StarCraft 2 such a dynamic and interesting game.
Yeah, for sure. He's got a couple of Hellions here that are getting caught out of position by this massive Ling ball. He's actually got some
fungal growth, and now they're all going to go down. However, he does get away with 2, which I didn't even expect. And
one has 7 kills, one has 3 kills. So you can see how effective these Hellions are against just a Ling cluster. But I think they do a lot better sitting in the middle of an army as the wave of Lings decided to attack.
Just Terran splash damage is such a utility and such a great support. A lot of their units can be used offensively. Like you can drop with siege tanks and really cheese with them offensively, but to use their splash damage defensively is so key.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, they have splash damage on so many units. Like, I mean, Thor Air, Planetary Fortress, and just like Siege Tanks, Hellions, everything. It's so good. And
nukes.
And nukes, the ultimate splash damage.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and now
we see some
Idra
Broodlords.
has a lot of Broodlords. And this looks almost exactly like Game 2. We're seeing the big Ling Ball, the big Mutaball, the Corruptors, and the big fuck you button, the Broodlords. And apologize for my Spanish. And now I have to apologize for the Spanish. To the Spanish.
But yeah, he's just vastly out like,
look at how many
Idra has air superiority.
Oh.
Like, you rarely see that.
Fungal growth on the Vikings too.
Yeah,
and
like fungal growth you have to consider as an asset for the air as well, because you can hold things in position.
This is not going well for TLO at all.
He's just getting picked apart by Idra.
And I mean, Idra's not even engaging with his lings. He's really just kind of picking.
Sitting on the outskirts.
Yeah, which is great. Sorry, go ahead.
He's got all his Broodlords on hold position in a bit. Well, actually, they're getting eaten up now, but they were in a really nice concave before. And he was using them sort of as you would siege tanks, as like stationary positions, in order to keep, like, to zone the Terran to not enter specific locations. And that's why he's keeping all his lings over here too, because if TLO advances too far that way, that'll trigger the lings to engage.
Well, and also, had he engaged with the lings during that little, like, Broodlord push, I think he would have lost all the lings.
Yeah.
To the siege tanks and to the planetary fortress. So he did a lot of damage without ever really losing any units, and that was probably the most cost-effective way he could have treated that engagement.
Yeah, exactly. And he's actually being really good at spending his money. Like look at how many bases he's on. Oh my god, I wasn't even paying attention. And he's getting gas out the ass. Holy fuck. Alright, so he's got all these extra bases. He's still spending all his money. He's getting all his upgrades. Ultralisk Den just finished. Like, he's completed almost the entire tech tree. Like, I really don't think there's much TLO can do now that he's boxed into this corner here.
Well, also, TLO is mined out of his main. He's mined out his second, and I'm not talking about the high ground natural.
Yeah.
Almost mined out at the high ground natural. This fourth is all he has left.
He's got some misclicked workers too that are just sort of, oh, now there they go, they're back to work now.
But really, Liquid TLO is trapped on one base, and even if he pushes out, there's no way he's going to take an expansion from Idra. There's just no way. Because on top of that, he'll have to wait for the creep to recede. So it's not like he can even set up a position.
There are only a couple bases left without creep, and none of them are advantageous to take. They're all 6
and here come the
minerals.
lings! But the PF and siege tanks are still up. And I think he's going to lose them all. Hellions, too.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to see him morph a lot more Banes before he attacked that. Maybe he could just, like... I think it's something like 20 Banes is exactly the amount, or maybe it's 15, that you need to take down a planetary fortress without the armor.
You know what? I'm going to give Idra a little bit of benefit of the doubt. Maybe he was just throwing those lings in there to free supply.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, because, 5 Ultralisks are coming out right now. Plus this Chintiterus plating.
Chitinous plating. You know what? I am so impressed that Idra is spending the money that he is getting.
Yeah, me too. Like, this is macro at its best, and all his expansions are covered. Like, there's 3 spine crawlers at this one and a queen at this one. These ones are all in the back. They're well protected. He hasn't even taken his natural yet.
What an asshole.
Yeah. So TLO is really getting outplayed by Idra's macro here.
And look at those Broodlords. The siege tanks are doing more damage than the PF than the Broodlords are. And he's going to try to repair that because he really needs that up. But he can't spend the money on it either. And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen here.
He's picking off some of these Broodlords, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Like, the supply deficit is starting to get, it was 15 like 2 minutes ago. Now it's 30, and after like a Zerg on this many bases, it just becomes exponential. And I think Idra's going to go here for the flank.
Look at this. Yeah, he's breaking down those rocks. And they're going to go down fast just because the Ultras. And oh my god. He's going to get... Liquid TLO is going to get cut in half.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Idra just went straight for the production and said, screw this base, you can have it if you want.
That's what he's doing.
Oh yeah, there he goes. He's even got the walls down.
Oh my god, this looks like game over for Liquid TLO.
Yeah, he's just pretty hard pressed to make anything happen.
Now TLO's got to pull it. Look at all his SCVs and siege tanks coming down to deal with those. Not even sieging up, because I think this is the best way to deal with that. And what is he gonna do? Like,
but still, a 4-2 on those Ultras. Only well, I guess he's got 3 attack on his siege tanks, but no upgrades for his infantry. And he's only got 7 siege tanks. And Idra smartly pulling out, not taking too much damage.
Which isn't even necessary at this point.
He's still spending all his money.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know
he's going to fungal growth all those SCVs. Oh, I want to see them die. Oh, look at all of them in the deep red.
Holy jeez. So that is a GG from TLO, closing the series between TLO and egidra, making this 2-1 in favor of EG. And how do you feel about this game?
I'm really impressed with Idra and his ability to like I said, you see a lot of Zerg players will stockpile money. Like they'll just be sitting on this huge bank, but you can see that Idra has completely evenly spent all his money this entire game, never really reaching above like 1,000, 1,500, and having that production and just that macro allowed him to pin TLO into this corner. And just completely exploit this well, I guess you'd say 75% map, 25% map. So yeah, very, very impressed with Idra.
So now that Idra has beaten TLO, that means he's facing OGSMC in the semifinals. And we watched OGSMC's Protoss versus Zerg against Maus Maro. How do you think he fares against the best Protoss in the world?
I'd give him a little bit better chance than Maro. Like, I really like Maro's playstyle, but I feel like he has to sort of iron out his situational thinking, like what kind of decisions he makes in say, an engagement, or whether or not he should let his expansion go and counterattack or something like that. Yeah, I'm going to give my favorite to Idra. I think Idra can really punish MC for having only one very aggressive style, so long as Idra can shut that down. And like he's showing us, he plays very safe, very, very safe. So yeah, I'm
in an interview, Maus Maro said, he's like, hey, that is the best Protoss player in the world coming from Korea to join the DreamHack tournament. Maus Maro said, I took a game off him. If I can take a game off him, Idra can beat him.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see. And Idra said he's really confident, but we'll see what goes down. So I'm SSN Incarnum, and you're watching StarCraft Inc., joined by Smash Cab. Smash Cab?
Dude, for Rizzle. Let's do it.
All right, come back for the next series in the DreamHack tournament.